One of the most important skills you'll need to demonstrate in exams is the ability to use quotations. And it's important when you're thinking about this not to get lost in the idea of quotes as just being something to satisfy examiners. You should try and take it a little bit more seriously than that, and then the marks will come. And so you want to quote in order to turn your clever assertions into meaningful argument and to give your argument strength through relevant evidence. But most importantly, I think it's to direct your reader to the parts of the text that you find important, that are relevant to your argument. And so that leads us to which quotes you should select. Well, the ones that you should really try and go for are the ones that are rich in figurative language or imagery and good strong diction. But you might also look for quotes that reveal complexities in the character motivations or the relationships between characters and their conflicts. But also look for quotes that directly speak to the key themes and ideas of the text. Ultimately, the quotes that you draw from are the ones that best allow you to demonstrate your argument. But what's really important is that your quote can be subjected to meaningful analysis, that it's not simply just a throwaway line in there. And does your quote directly point to your argument? That's the really strong test for whether or not you're using quotes effectively. And so there are two ways to use quotes, and one is to build them grammatically into your prose, like the first example I've given here from translations. The second is to use block quotes. Block quotes in handwritten essays, written in an hour, you won't often block quote. They're usually reserved for longer quotes. But if you're writing a longer essay and you're typing it out, then you might have good reason to use block quotes. And so here's an example that comes from the Literature Good Answers Guide, and I'll just read it for you. Jemmy is Malouf's prototype Australian, the hybrid result of being rejected by his own society and accepted by a very different one. Mr. Fraser comments that this is how Australia will develop. Jemmy is a forerunner. He is no longer a white man, but a true child of the place as it will one day be. Thus, Malouf shows that discordance resulting from the clash of multiple cultures can be resolved by an acceptance of the land. And so you can see here that the quote is directly related to what's come before it, and it lends itself to being analysed. And this particular quote is one that points to the larger ideas of the text. That's its relevance to the bigger picture. And so ultimately you really want to try and quote with authority. You want well-chosen quotes and ones that really back up your argument.